first of all, welcome everyone to the PixelPep. I appreciate all of your time joining this evening, and I appreciate all of you having like dedication to do something in your career. So, yeah, let's start. Today we will be discussing about how you can improve your portfolio, how you can uh, make things better in your portfolio so that the chances of getting shortlisted in the recruitment process getting higher, right? So we have Ashutosh today. He will be our guest speaker with us, and he will be discussing about how we can do this all. He will be sharing his insights and his experience with us. And yeah, we are very grateful to have you, Ashutosh, here today. And yeah, so Ashutosh is working from last 4 years in design industry, and he's currently working in Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, he's currently working in Microsoft. That's a very great thing actually. And yeah, he's also worked with some of the clients and some of the uh, people from different background, and he has a very pretty good idea of like how the UX portfolio should look like, what other things should be included in the portfolio. So yeah, he'll be sharing his insights very soon with us. So before starting out, here's just a brief or short introduction of me as well. So yeah, so I have a background in computer science. I did my bachelor's in computer science, and it's been for 5+ years to like I've been working in as a UX designer. I started out as a freelance designer, but later on moved to corporate world and just started out in a company. I'm just currently working in a company called Qubit, just somewhere located in Bangalore. I just never visited there. It's remote company. So yeah, it's going good. And yeah, that's about me. And I am the founder and organizer for PixelPeps. The PixelPeps is like a community for designers. We just recently opened or founded for the people like you who are just really wanted to upskill yourself and really want to learn about the things. So that's the aim of the PixelPeps community, and I believe we are going to achieve that goal very soon and by day. And yeah, that's about me. I'm overing to Ashutosh. So before that, I just want to say that you might be thinking I'm not directly seeing at the screen, so my camera is just aside, little bit aside. So that's the case. If you are guys wondering. So yeah, over to Ashutosh. Let's just start with the presentation. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, Ajit. Thank you so much for inviting me. And half of the corporate works like this. Like you're looking at somewhere else and your screen is somewhere else because you have two screens. So I completely understand that. Cool. Folks, thanks a lot for joining in. Let me quickly share my screen and I'll take it. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Let's talk design. And I would appreciate if you all can open your cameras because that, for me personally, it helps create a better connection with my audience. But that's up to you. No worries. So, folks, today we are going to talk about getting better at UX design portfolio, and I'm going to share pointers from my own experience and my own learnings till now. I hope it helps you in your journey as well. Whatever doodles that you see on the border are just the things that revolve around me, starting here from like content creation and everything, like dance, reading, and I love to travel in planes, etc., etc. So this is the circle that basically you are going to see the piece of my journey right now. Quick accessibility check: is everyone okay with English and Hindi both, or shall I just continue with English? Can I get a thumbs up? Cool. Okay. So, folks, Please, if you are posting any story on Instagram, do tag me. This is my Instagram handle. Very simple, ashutosh.ux. And it's just a humble request from my side. Um, okay, so I am Ashutosh Vashishtha. I'm a UX designer in Microsoft. And within Microsoft, I work in Windows design team, Windows 11, which I am assuming every one of you must have used in their life. The agenda would be I'll talk about my journey, about why I got into UX, what is UX in the first place, industry, design process, roadmap, and my thoughts on AI. Okay. Uh, First things first, most asked question is, are you an IITian? Now, why am I sharing this question with you all? Because no, I'm not an IITian. I didn't even had science in my 11th and 12th standard. Okay. I did humanities and I had English, economics, maths, geography, and finance. Why this particular piece of information is important? Because the moment people hear that you work at Microsoft, there's a direct correlation that you must have taken science. But no, that's the beauty of UX design. You can come from any field and any background, but still you can crack into UX design if you really work on the skills that are required. So, in the end of the day, design degree doesn't matter, your skills matter in this particular domain, right? This is the college that I went to, National Institute of Design. Now you might be thinking, this is such a contradictory thing to what I just said. Folks, I went to NID, but I did my bachelor's in design in industrial design. Okay. And that's me in the welding workshop. So my whole degree was about creating physical products and not the digital experiences only. But then when I completed 4 years at NID, I had one design project which involved designing digital experience for a medical device. And that was the time when I first came to know about UX UI design. I think it was the year 2018. And after that, I tried to, self learn, talk to some of my professors, or reach out to people on LinkedIn, try to gain as much knowledge as I can. And that's how I began into UX UI. Uh, During the journey, I have been fortunate enough to brag some design awards and recognition. So this is me in Paris Design Award ceremony. This was the product that I designed. This is Breastscope. So Breastscope is a combination of two words: breast cancer and stethoscope. Basically, breast and stethoscope. It's a self-aided stethoscope which a female patient can themselves move around their chest area, and a doctor sitting with the Bluetooth earbuds can listen to the audio beats and guide the woman patient on where exactly they need to, maneuver the device on their chest, on their breast area. So this solved two problems. First, the emotional discomfort that some females might face if a male doctor is doing the checkup, right? Another problem was India has lack of awareness when it comes to breast cancer. Stethoscope is a device which is generally used in any medical treatment or just for your cough, fever, etc., etc. And chest area is the area which is generally used when a doctor is using a stethoscope. So idea was to connect the dots that okay, generally stethoscope is used in the chest area, then why not give some capability to the stethoscope itself, which can determine whether is there a possibility of tumor or lump inside the body or not. So this was the whole concept that I made. Other than this, there were a lot other products also that I made, might share it later on. But let's get to the business of UX. So why I got into UX? A lot of people ask me this question. Obviously, one reason was this had more scope, this had more pay as compared to physical product design, especially in India, given the fact that I could not go outside at that moment. So I focused my energy and my attention to UX design. Also, UX is the combination of art and technology. I've been always drawn towards technology. Uh, Wanted to get into it, but there was very less scope when it came to physical product design. And obviously, I come from a design background and a performing arts background. So it came very natural to me that, okay, UX design can be a area for me to explore, right? So it was very personal and it was very natural for me to incline towards this. Ideation, the process from going from ideation to actual design in front of users' hands, that is very quick in this field. I mean, the implementation happens very quickly. Whereas if you compare it to the physical product design, which I was doing in my college, so you have to figure out a lot of manufacturing and a lot of business details, etc., etc. But in UX UI, you make something in Figma and you just give it to a developer, and maybe next week they are, done with the product. So that's the speed of implementation that we have. It felt like a game, honestly, because when I first did it, it was always like, what will come after this step? So, for example, if user clicks on this button, what will happen next? What if user clicks on the other button? What happens next? So it's more like a game, and you basically progressively disclose what's coming next to a user, right? Or for yourself eventually. Also, in 2020, as I graduated, it was the top 5 job profiles as per LinkedIn. So I thought that, okay, from money perspective, also from viability aspect, this makes sense to take as a career path. Then I started working in a startup and finally landed up a job at Microsoft. But what is UX design? I will take a step back and explain this very briefly. What exactly is UX? Because I am not very aware about the audience that we have right now. So, a lot of you might be trying to switch their careers from a different set of field to UX, right? So, folks, first things first, there are no books as such for UX design. Okay. You basically you try to understand the area depending upon the domain that you're working on. So for example, if I'm trying to make an app or a product or a digital experience, let's say for a medical device, right, I would have to surround myself with doctors, with the patients, with the nurses, right, basically the medical domain expertise. If I'm making something for let's suppose um, elderlies, okay, I will surround myself with the elderlies or with the people who take care of them, their caretakers, right? So in order to create great UX, there is no such book, and there are a lot of articles and there are a lot of websites which where the information keeps on updating so that you can read. But if you come and ask me what's one such book that is like a bible to crack UX UI, there is none, right? So what is the origin of UX? You need to try to let's try to zoom in from a bigger picture. So there is something called as service design. Okay, let's take an example of a Zomato. Zomato is a service, right? Now in service design, there is product design. Zomato is a service. Their app is a product, but their customer service, the delivery partners, etc., 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 something which is not a part of their app, that will become a part of their service, right? In their product design, they will have user experience design. Now, their product design can be of different types. One can be the digital product, that is their application, right? Another can be the e-rickshaws or the bikes that they have, the delivery persons have, right? That is also a very particular type of a design. They have cold storages in that, and now Zomato has enabled group bookings. So now in the group bookings, there's actually a battery rickshaw which comes for a with the order of like 30-40 people, right? So that is also a part of product design. Zomato must have reached out to some physical product design studio, asked for the design, and then they have delivered it, right? But within product design also, there is a segment called as user experience design. Now in user experience design, we have these little islands. We have design research, we have testing, we have problem identification, we have accessibility design, and the major chunk is user interface, which is UI. So you can simply say that UI is a subset of UX design, right? It is not equal to UX. UI is not directly equal to UX. UX is a very bigger umbrella. UI is a major part of it, right? As I said, it's just a part of whole UX. Now, how is it done in industry? So a lot of people try to get into it, but they don't understand how the things are worked in a company, right? And that's fair because you haven't worked as a UX designer earlier. So it's okay, and it's very, natural for you to be lost, basically, how to get started with a project, right? First, let's understand how a product is made. Because if you understand this, you would be able to understand how to get better at UX design portfolio, which is the major theme of today's session, right? The- or let me reiterate it. Let's understand how a product is developed, right? So, folks, in a company, there is a triad. Okay, there's a triangular format which most of the companies use, and we at Microsoft also use. So there is a designer, right? And there's a developer in the bottom part of it. Now, designer is someone who works on the user experience aspect of any product. In short, designers, or parallelly, we can say designers work on Figma or any other creative tool, right? Developers are the ones who actually engineer the designs which a designer has made. So, for example, if I have made something in Figma, that is not the actual product. What developer will develop that I will get for my mobile, that APK file or whatever it is, that will be the exact product. Till then, whatever designer is making, it is just a mock. It is just to show or communicate how a particular thing should look and work, right? So, in order to manage both designer and developer, there is a middleman uh, who is called as product manager or PM in short. Now, PM is the person who gives the PM spec, who gives the requirements, everything that a designer needs to make a design. What are the data that we have? What are the market research? What are the insights? What is the business planning team thinking at a higher level? All these questions are basically answered by product manager. They come to designer designs the feature, they have some discussions, and then that is finally given to the developer, right? So everyone is basically, and nowadays there is also fourth person that is called as data scientist, because these are the folks that make sense out of data, because data without context is nothing. For example, if I'm saying 90% of the users drop out, right? But if my sample size is just 10 users, then it doesn't matter because my sample size is very less. But if I say 90% of the users drop out and the sample size is 1 million users, then that creates an impact, right? So data scientists are someone who analyze the reasons behind drop off, behind canceling the subscriptions, etc., etc. And then PM will make some understanding out of it, and then you as a designer will redesign the cancellation page for something, right? So this is how the work is done. Also, coming back to this, folks, understand that every person here is trying to solve a problem, trying to solve a business problem. Okay. PM try to solve a problem from a business perspective, right? How to gain more subscribers, etc., etc., etc. Designer solves a problem from a user perspective. Okay. PM will say that, okay, we want to increase subscribers, for example, for Netflix. But designer will come and say, okay, that's all right. I understand that we want to increase the subscribers for Netflix, but it should not be very, very stringent. It should not come on a face. It should be very seamless. Users' actual task should not be obstructive, right? It should not come in the middle of the task because user will get irritated. There will be more pain while using the app, right? Product manager might not think like that, but you as a designer will think like that. Developer is also trying to solve a problem to actually develop that, right? Write a new code, create a new algorithm to see if we can personalize the cancellation screen or not, trying to add AI, etc., etc. So in short, everyone is trying to solve certain level of problem, right? Now keep this point in mind because I'll refer to this point once again. Now, coming to the pointers that are important for UX design portfolios, right? What a recruiter looks for in a UX design portfolio. Folks, this is very important and it's very simple to understand. Only two things: your critical thinking and your craft quality. Okay. These are the 2 points or parameters on the basis of which your portfolio is judged, especially in companies like Microsoft, Meta, Google, Apple, Netflix, Salesforce, etc. A lot more than that, right? But now, what are these? Critical thinking is basically your thought process or your design thinking, how you approach to solve a problem, and your communication. Let's go through it once again. It is your thought process. Basically, if I have given you a problem that this is the onboarding screen, onboarding process for our application, and users are dropping off. Or if I tell you that, okay, I want to leverage WhatsApp to ease the process of ordering grocery and getting the delivery from your local grocery store, like in my nearby city. What are the minimum things that you will add or subtract or change in WhatsApp to do so? So your thought process means how critically you are able to think that. What are the type of assumptions you are taking, right? In terms of WhatsApp, at what level are you able to think the tech savviness of the delivery boy, of the uncle who sits in the grocery store, or the auntie who sits in the grocery store, or the tech savviness of your parents who are, for example, 60 plus? Are they able to understand the complexities of technology or not, right? What is the first thing that you will do when you're given this situation, right? So that is your thought process. How critically are you able to analyze the situation? Then how strongly do you demonstrate your design thinking? What is design thinking? That, okay, you are following a certain process, right? You're not afraid to go back to research after ideation. So for example, there are a lot of these things, design portfolios, where people actually have their portfolios, their projects in a very linear manner. Like सबसे पहले we have the problem identified, then we have a lot of research, and then we have little ideation, and then we have just one screen made. Guys, that is a big no. That's a straight away rejection, right? You don't have to do that. You have to follow a process, and process allows for flexibility, right? So your critical thinking basically is how well you are versed with the design process. How do you approach to solve it? Are you directly making the wireframes? Are you directly jumping to the Figma? Or are you taking a moment, a step back, going to the basic pen and paper, making the wireframes? What are you doing? How are you doing? I'm not saying ki something is good and something is bad. Everything has its own pros and cons. If you are so confident on your design, you can directly jump to the Figma and impress the employer, right? But if you think that, okay, there needs to be given some thought, and I should, you know, do some analysis, create a basic flow chart, information architecture, or anything like that, do that, right? And do all these things, especially in your whiteboarding sessions, which is a part of recruitment, right? And also how you communicate your thinking, because you must be thinking something, but are you able to communicate that perfectly to the interviewer or not? That's the main thing, right? Second thing is your craft quality. So your craft quality is basically basics of UI, right? Is your, so for example, if you have made a screen on maybe desktop or mobile, is your alignment okay? Like, is everything aligned? What's the color type? What's the typography that you're using? Is there consistency in typography, icons, colors, etc.? मतलब ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि on one screen you have bell icon which is filled with black color and on the other screen you have a bell icon which is not filled. That is inconsistency. And these things recruiter might not tell you as a feedback. They are not there to give you feedback. They are there to have a judgment on your portfolio, on your work. So make sure that these things are in check. Second thing is your composition, like having random shadows, having a text which is left aligned, and then if I scroll down, your text suddenly becomes center aligned in the center of the page. What's happening? Your composition of every screen, every page needs to be perfect, right? And then you have your storytelling. Storytelling here, storytelling and communication, these are one on the same thing. But storytelling is also the visual storytelling. How visually appealing your project is or your portfolio is, right? How better are you narrating your project? That is the craft quality. How well are you crafting your story, right? So these are the two things that are very important from a recruiter's perspective. Now, how to add depth to a project. So, folks, there are 3 points, including this one. I'll go through it and I can open for us, I mean, basically an AMA session, and you can ask me anything that you want. Okay. How to add depth to a project. This is one of the most neglected part, I would say, which a lot of beginners do in their design portfolio. Folks, you need to have some depth. You need to show that, okay, you can think just beyond the usual, right? I'm going to take an example of Amazon gift card here. You need to think at system level if you want to add depth to your portfolio. Simple as that. How? So for example, if a user wants to buy an Amazon gift card, right? That is your hero flow. That is the usual flow. I want to create a gift card flow. That's it. But think beyond that. What if user wants to cancel that gift card? Is there any time frame that you can only cancel your gift card if your recipient has not opened it, which can be a minute, a day, a week, a month, a year, whatever, right? What if user wants to cancel a gift card? What if user wants to change or update the address information for the gift if it's a physical parcel going on, right? What if user wants to, you know, change or increase the gift amount from 1,000 to 5,000, right? What happens to the recipient's Amazon mobile app? For example, if I am sending a gift card to my sister, what happens to her Amazon app, right? These are the scenarios which are not usual. So you need to think at a system level. What now? Think even beyond a system level. Think about, what if this gift which I have sent is meant to be a group gift to a single member? Like for example, if my friend is getting married and five of us friends are contributing 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, and we are giving a gift card of 50,000 rupees for her wedding. So typically, one person will send a 50,000 gift card. I'll come back to WhatsApp. I'll divide it like 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. I'll ask everyone, I'll share my UPI ID and ask everyone to pay me back. What if here itself you have a split payment option? You're getting it? Don't just think about the usual flows. Also think about the flows beyond that. What is the user activity? What might be the user behavior? I might want to go back and split the payment, as I told. So that's the user behavior. Thought process or critical thinking comes from these kind of work, right? So you need to think at a system level to have depth in your portfolios, right? Now, which type of projects do we add? हमने ये तो पता कर लिया कि ठीक है सिस्टम लेवल पे सोचना है, बट किस टाइप के प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में सोचना है, राइट? सो folks, you're a one man army right now, right? And you are trying to entice recruiters, multiple type of recruiters from different type of industries, which might have different type of devices. So you want to cater to different industries and devices. Basically, you need a project topic decision grid. What does that mean? So, broadly, this is my framework that I have created after talking to so many design aspirants. See, there are two axes that you see. The horizontal axis talks about the device type, which is usually used, desktop to mobile. Okay. And the vertical one talks about business to consumer type of companies, right? B2C to B2B. Now we have four quadrants. We have four quadrants here, right? Here, if you see B2C and mobile, what does that mean? That it's a direct to consumer product, but the touch point, the digital touch point is mobile. So, for example, Instagram is one product, it's a mobile first product and it's B2C, right? What happens to B2C and desktop? Photoshop by Adobe, it's a digital product and it's a B2C product, like we are the end consumers of it, but it's a desktop first application, right? Or any game for that matter. What happens to desktop and B2B? Any SaaS company, any startup that is there outside who's doing B2B, they have a dashboard, they have multiple types of roles like admin, manager, employer, staff, etc., etc. Right? All these companies create dashboards on desktop, right, for to be used on PCs. Then another last segment we have is mobile and B2B, any product which is business to business but is mobile first. So I could not think of a particular product, but India Mart as an app is one such app that we can say that okay, it it is basically enabling businesses to interact with businesses, which is also mobile first product, right? And in the middle also we can find some synergy with B2B2C, which is Zomato, for example. So Zomato is B2B2C. How? Zomato caters to restaurants, and they are basically a bridge between restaurants to the end consumers, right? So Zomato is a business which is catering to another business, which is a restaurant, and restaurant, which is a business catering to a consumer, right? And Zomato has both desktop and mobile experiences. They have desktop experiences for restaurants and they have mobile experiences for the delivery boys and for the end consumers, right? So if you create 2 to 3 projects from different quadrants, you will have variety. Different type of recruiters will have more confidence on you. Why? Because if I am a recruiter who has a SaaS based startup, and out of 3 projects there is one project which is purely B2B and which has very detailed design for desktop, I will gain confidence in your profile. As simple as that. And in the same time, parallelly, if you have also applied to some company which is, for example, Blinkit, which is B2C, I will see that, okay, you have done one project which is purely B2C and you have very detailed mobile UI design skills, and having a dashboard design skill is a plus on. So you are basically able to cater to different type of industries and employers at the same time, right? So you need to be wise enough to pick projects like this which can demonstrate your skills and thinking, right? Lastly, show your older projects. Second, lastly, show your older projects. This is my take because that's why I have added maybe. If you're just getting started, you might not have a lot of projects. But because I came from a design college, I had like very noob projects. I even added my pottery project, which I did in college, pottery and glass ceramics classes. So I added that also. Why? Add passion work to show your growth as a designer and your creative question, right? See, design is driven by passion because that's the difference between art and design, right? Art is something that you do for yourself, it's your self expression. Doesn't matter if it solve anyone else's problem or not. If you're making it for your mental health, you just make it, right? That is art. Design on the other hand is you are trying to understand someone else, you're trying to solve for them or design for them. For example, this shaker, I honestly don't like the form and the color of it, but it solves my purpose because This is what is used to take whey protein if you're going to the gym, right? So this is a design, this is not art. And that is the reason mostly people who enter into the design industry have a similar background कि मुझे स्कूल में art and drawing बनाने में बहुत मजा आता था, right? So it was that artistic passion that you had, but then your creative quotient grew after a point of time, right? So showing your older projects is basically showing how you have evolved time by time and how you have increased your design skills, right? So that is just one point which I honestly like if I see in the portfolios, and not just the digital projects. If you have done some painting, whatever drives you basically to become a designer, show that in your portfolio. Maybe down, maybe under the main projects, but have some existence of your passion projects in a portfolio. It can be photography, videography, anything of that sorts, right? Last point, there might be some people who have some ideas, okay, confused on how to prioritize which project to make first. I would say take a moment, use the project priority table. What does that mean? So folks, you must have some current projects or ideas with you, okay? There would be some, but you might be at a question mark key which one to prioritize and which one to take up first, right? So this is the priority list that I made during a one-on-one call uh, in January, I guess. Basically, what you have to do is it's very simple. Okay, what you have to do is you have to make columns. First column is your project name, right? Second column is your depth of thinking, basically your critical thinking, right? Third column is your craft quality. Let's first talk about these three columns. Now, your project name, you add the idea or the project that you have in mind, right? And you make a list of them. For example, here I have three projects. Now, what is depth of thinking? As I told you, how deeply, how well have you thought about it? उसमें substance है या नहीं, right? So rank yourself. Rank yourself for that product, for that project between 0 to 5. ठीक है? Similarly, rank yourself on the basis of craft quality. How well you have designed. Is there a chance that you can, design it in a better way? Can you leverage any AI tool to design that in a better way? Can the visuals of it can be improved? If the presentation of it can be improved, so judge from that parameter and rank yourself for craft quality as well. Once you have done the ranking of every project, now take a moment and think. So, for example, in this app redesign, I am saying that okay, my depth of thinking is 3, which is average, but my craft quality is very good. मतलब मैंने बहुत बढ़िया UI बनाया हुआ है, but मैंने उतनी डेप्थ ऐड नहीं करी है प्रोजेक्ट में, ठीक है? तो मैंने यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है, सिंस इट इज अ रीडिजाइन माई क्रिटिकल, एंड दिस इज एन ऐप रीडिजाइन, ठीक है? सिंस इट इज अ रीडिजाइन माई क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग शुड रिफ्लेक्ट मोर, लाइक व्हाई आई हैव चोजन दिस पर्टिकुलर ऐप टू रीडिजाइन, व्हाट इज द करंट प्रॉब्लम्स इन द एक्जिस्टिंग वन. मैंने उसका यूआई तो बहुत अच्छा बना दिया, बट मैंने उसकी थिंकिंग पे ज्यादा काम नहीं किया, राइट? मेडिटेशन ऐप, आई हैव डेप्थ ऑफ थिंकिंग बहुत अच्छे से, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग है एकदम, यूजर टेस्टिंग किया मैंने, बहुत बढ़िया आया सब कुछ, बट उसकी क्राफ्ट को और अच्छा कर सकते हैं बिकॉज इट्स अ मेडिटेशन ऐप. मैं उसमें एनिमेशन ऐड कर सकता हूँ, उसमें कुछ इंटरेक्टिव एलिमेंट्स ऐड कर सकता हूँ, राइट? तो उसमें क्राफ्ट क्वालिटी को इम्प्रूव करने का बहुत सारा स्कोप है. तो मैंने यहाँ पे क्या लिखा, इट्स इम्प्रूवमेंट इज अ गुड टू हैव बट नॉट वेरी अर्जेंट, राइट? देन मैंने एक लिखा कैफे ऑर्डर्स डैशबोर्ड, जो कैफे के अंदर डैशबोर्ड होता है, ठीक है? डेप्थ ऑफ थिंकिंग 2 बहुत कम है, बिलो एवरेज, एंड माई क्राफ्ट क्वालिटी इज ऑल्सो वेरी एवरेज. तो मुझे समझ में आएगी भाई सबसे ज्यादा काम करने की जरूरत इसमें है. आई लैक इन बोथ क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग एंड यूआई डिटेलिंग. So based on my comments and remarks, I make a priority rank. This is the first project that I will pick to complete and add it to my portfolio. Is this will be the second one and this will be the third one. थर्ड वन वाला ऐसा है कि अगर मैं कुछ भी नहीं करता हूँ और मैं किसी के साथ शेयर भी कर देता हूँ फॉर एन इंटर्नशिप और अ जॉब, देयर इज स्टिल a possibility that I might hear back. But अगर मैं ये भेज दूंगा तो वो नहीं है, तो मुझे ये पहले prioritize करना पड़ेगा. Take something which is a low hanging fruit for you, right? This is how you can help yourself in ranking your current projects or ideas, and then this is basically nothing but your personalized roadmap, how you will go about creating a UX design portfolio, right? Quick example of beginner mistakes. I'll come back to this later on. Let me know if there are any questions. Any questions? Any questions? We have 100 people. Damn. Folks, any comments, anything? You need to be interactive.
3 people have just raised their hands. Yeah. You guys are free to...
Ajit, you're on mute.
Yeah, so 3 people has just raised their hand. You guys are free to unmute yourself and ask something if you want to. Yeah, Yatin.
Yes. Go ahead.
Hi, I am Yatin. Actually, I have a doubt. Currently, I am a student, and actually, I just started learning about Figma and just a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And currently, I am learning about some Figma tools from YouTube videos and all. And actually, to be honest, I just started learning UI UX as a like side project because I contribute a lot to open source projects, and in some there are a lot of opportunities to contribute to the UI UX part of the project, and so that's why I wanted some guidance. How can I start doing that? And yeah.
Didn't understand your question, buddy. Matlab, what are you expecting?
Yeah, so actually I want to ask that if I am how can I, as a beginner, as you told that first you should prioritize your projects, which all projects you have to make first, and so if I don't have a major project in mind, so how should I start?
You start with okay, that's a good question. I generally recommend 3 types of projects. First one should be a redesign. Okay. Still like an artist. So you take any project from Behance, or you take any app that you are currently using, not a very big app. Instagram mat le lena, क्योंकि उसके तो billion users हैं, right? But take some project or take some existing product, okay, and try to first understand how is it made, why have they made certain thing in a certain manner, right? What is the what might be the decision behind it? How can you design that? अगर इतना भी नहीं सोचा जा रहा है ना, that is perfectly fine. You just take that and you just try to replicate it. But do not add that replicated one in your portfolio, because that will be plagiarism. That is not welcomed in the industry. Okay. Why I'm saying you try to replicate is because you will gain some confidence with the technical tool, which is Figma. Ki, okay, I can design something. Okay, I can design a screen or something like that. Once you do that, you try to improvise on that. You try to see what are the things that you can improve, right? You can take your the older design and the new design which you have made to someone who might be the user of it, and ask them, which one do you feel is better, right? Why do you feel this one is better? What are the remarks that they have? So that would be the starting point to start. Second project that you do it, that can be a project from scratch. Okay. And try to work on some real project. I know it's very difficult. I can totally empathize with you. Starting, taking a real project means that you need to work with some company or some developer, right? Maybe ask your friend who's an engineer in college who is looking to actually create a project. Maybe you can design something and they can develop it, right? So try to figure out these things. Try to maybe reach out to some NGO or something. tell them that okay, you are capable of designing something and you want to explore something for them, and just try to do that, because you will have a very specific focused user if you have a real project. And real projects are always evaluated higher as compared to the fictional projects, right? And if you're not able to get anything, no worries, go to chat gpt and ask for three, and basically shortlist 3-4 type of projects, okay, based on the grid that I have shown you: b2b, b2c, desktop and mobile. That should be your starting point. Hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I want to ask, as you told that first I should learn the basics of Figma, and then I should focus on the redesign part of, like, I should take any app, let's say Spotify or something. I should like
Don't take Spotify. Take something that is small. See, the bigger the app is, the bigger the nuances are. Behind every button, there is a thinking, right? So you need to be very considerate on what type of project you are taking. That's why to my mentees, I always say ki take a project from Behance, so that you also understand how they have portrayed the project that they have done in a presentation. मतलब सिर्फ प्रोजेक्ट नहीं बनाना ना हमको, हमें पोर्टफोलियो के लिए प्रेजेंटेशन भी बनाना है, राइट? तो हाउ आर यू शोइंग दैट योर थिंकिंग, योर होल स्टोरी इन अ प्रेजेंटेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दैट्स व्हाई आई ऑलवेज टेक गो टू बिहाइंड फर्स्ट, टेक बेबी स्टेप्स. वो कर लिया, उसके बाद कोई एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर आओ, ठीक है? एंड देन यू ट्राई टू, बिकॉज बिहाइंड पे क्या होगा, यू विल बी एबल टू find out the designer who has made that. Maybe try to reach out to that designer after you have redesigned their product, just for a frank feedback, right, on LinkedIn or on Behance. Thoda sa stock karke. But yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So after this, like, I also have a project in my mind. Like, I was planning to make an attendance system app. So can I, after learning all the basics, can I design this one for my like practice?
Why not? What's stopping? See, right now you don't have any project, right?
No, I
So
currently don't.
so you go with what you have in hand or you have in mind. You just get started. That's it. That's the only 2 cents I have. Cool.
Yeah, got it. Thank you so much.
Karthik. I can see Karthik's hand raised. Naman, can you go ahead? Hi. Folks who have raised their hands, please go ahead.
Yeah, Ankur.
Yeah, hi sir. I am Ankur. I recently made a project on WhatsApp payments. I pasted the link in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Should I make more projects like this, or should I choose small scale apps?
Ankur, I saw your Instagram post, but you're just showing me the final output, right?
Yes.
We don't want to see that. We want to see the process behind it. Like what all the messy work that you have done, all the scribbles and everything that you have done. अब ये जो payments का वो है flow है, वो कौन से user के लिए है and उसका क्या scenario है, ये सब explain करना है. मतलब I understand that you have shared the Instagram link with me, but obviously I mean have some more details to it. You can definitely explore that, but try to work on a more detailed problem area. Or if you are making something like Instagram payments which is already there, then also show what is the problem in the existing one and then in the end show the older versus newer version for the recruiter to actually examine कि आपने जो सोचा है वो सच में better है, right?
Okay, I got it. I have one more question. Like
Yeah.
for design competitions, so is it helpful to take part in design-a-thons?
Why not? It's a design competition. A developer won't take a part in that.
Yeah, but sometimes it is not that.
Cool. Folks, we'll take one question per person, okay? So you can be smart and merge the two. Go ahead. Apeksha.
Yeah. Hi, Ashutosh. First of all, I would
Hi.
like to say amazing insights. I have been following you for a while, and I'm just like blown away with every Insta story you post. Like I just learned something new, so that's amazing.
Thank you.
And I'll keep it short. I won't take much of your time. I just wanted to. I recently launched my portfolio. So just for a little context, I used to be a visual designer. I used to work with an advertising agency, and later on, I realized that I am very much interested in product designing. So I took my time and I upskilled in that. And I recently launched my portfolio. So I just wanted some feedback from you on how the portfolio is like. If some recruiter looks at it or some senior designer looks at it. So are there any changes that I can make to it, or is something working? I would like to know that. So can I paste my portfolio link in the
You can
chat?
DM me on Instagram. No worries.
Sure. I actually did once, and I think it got missed, so I'll do it again.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No
Cool.
problem.
No,
I'll do it again.
cool. You can do that. I'll get back to you on that. Sure.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Prakash, let's go.
Hey Ashutosh,
Hi.
like I only have a one question. Like as there is no time with everyone to check out like every portfolio, like as a recruiter, right? So in that case, होता क्या है इंडिया में कि हर जॉब पे like 100 एप्लीकेंट्स तो होते ही होते हैं, राइट? तो ऐसे केसेस में रिक्रूटर्स के पास भी टाइम नहीं होता सबका पोर्टफोलियो चेक करने का. तो उस केस में व्हाट यू विल सजेस्ट कि मतलब आपके पोर्टफोलियो में कितनी केस स्टडीज होनी चाहिए और उन केस स्टडीज की स्क्रोलिंग लेंथ कितनी हो?
देखो,
यस,
जैसे जैसे आपका प्रोसेस आगे प्रोसीड होता है ना रिक्रूटमेंट में मिनिमम 3 to 4 स्टेजेस होते हैं. सबसे पहले होता है पोर्टफोलियो स्क्रीनिंग, उसके बाद होता है आपका फर्स्ट इंटरव्यू जो बस ऐसे नो हाउ के लिए होता है, उसके बाद आपके डिटेल्ड इंटरव्यूज भी होते हैं. ठीक है, ये मैं एक जनरल कंपनी के बोल रहा हूँ. माइक्रोसॉफ्ट गूगल में तो 5-6 राउंड होते हैं. तो बेसिकली देखो, स्टार्टिंग में कॉमन सेंस लगाते हैं इसमें. ठीक है, स्टार्टिंग में जब आप किसी को दिखा रहे हो पोर्टफोलियो, तो यू नीड टू बी क्विक इनफ, क्योंकि आपको पता है ना कि 100 प्रोफाइल्स होंगे उनके पास. अभी माइक्रोसॉफ्ट प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन इंटर्नशिप्स निकली हैं, हमारे पास 50,000 एप्लीकेशंस आई हैं, पता है. तो जब आपके पास इतना बड़ा स्केल होता है ना, यू वांट टू हैव अ परफेक्ट फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन. ठीक है, फर्स्ट थिंग, जो मेरा बिहांस है वो देखने में कैसा लग रहा है, बिहांस का प्रोफाइल, उस पे बैनर है या नहीं, मेरी जो डीपी है वो कितनी अलाइन कर रही है डिजाइनर एज अ प्रोफाइल के साथ. ठीक है, जो मेरे थंबनेल्स हैं वो कितने क्लियर हैं, उनकी क्वालिटी कितनी अच्छी है, राइट? ऑल दीज थिंग्स. देन आपका जो प्रोजेक्ट है, अब वो प्रोजेक्ट देखो आपने बहुत काम किया होगा, बट उसका ना एक जिस्ट पहले दे दो स्टार्टिंग में. आई ऑलवेज से इफ दिस इज योर प्रोजेक्ट, स्टार्टिंग का 10 to 20% should be the trailer of your project, and rest of the 80% can be your movie. So you just state the problem that you had, you just show the solution that you had, and problem and solution के बीच में you can also show the flow, ऐसे टेबल टाइप का या ट्री चार्ट बना के. This is how the problem is being solved. This is the final design. ताकि मतलब मैं अगर रिक्रूटर हूं तो मुझे एक्साइटमेंट तो हो ना देखने में.
Yes,
I should be excited enough. You should be credible enough for me to scroll through your whole project and finally see the screen. I hate projects जिसके अंदर starting में कुछ भी UI नहीं होता, कुछ exciting नहीं होता. मुझे लगता है कि चलो लास्ट में देखेगा, स्क्रॉल स्क्रॉल स्क्रॉल, और इतनी सारी रिसर्च के बाद बस एक दो स्क्रीन्स होती हैं. इट्स अ बिग नो. वो सीधा डिस्क्वालीफाई हो जाती है प्रोफाइल, राइट? तो यू शुड बी स्मार्ट इनफ टू शो द ग्लिम्स ऑफ योर प्रोजेक्ट इन द बिगनिंग सो दैट द रिक्रूटर गेट्स हुक्ड. सिंपल है ना, रील्स में भी तो वही हो रहा है. यू आर ट्राइंग टू डील विद द शॉर्ट अटेंशन स्पैन, राइट? So you need to hook your audience, and then if they are interested, they can scroll down and see if what's the process that you followed, right? And be smart enough. If it's a redesign, तो दिखाओ मुझे existing and new design. What's the difference, right?
Yes, yes.
It is something जो आपने अगर आपने scratch से बनाया है, तो अगर scratch से बनाया है तो show me the system कि ये आज तक प्रोडक्ट कभी एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता था. ये एक पूरा सिस्टम है, इसका मैं एग्जांपल दिखा दूंगा अभी. ये पूरे इस इकोसिस्टम में यहाँ पे प्रोजेक्ट लाई करेगा. मतलब अगर एक पार्किंग ऐप है, वैले पार्किंग ऐप फॉर एग्जांपल, तो शो मी कि ऐसे बेसिक डूडल बनाकर या कुछ करके कि दिस इज द सिटी मैप, बंदा यहाँ पे फंसा हुआ है, ये पूरा जीपीएस दिखा रहा है, रेड कलर का है. हियर इज द this is the point where a user will open the app and use it, because you are directly showing me the context of it.
Got it.
Right? So you need to be smart enough. Tailor your introduction of the project according to the type of project that you have.
Got that.
Cool.
Thank you. Cool.
Yeah. Tejas storage.
Hi, Ashutosh. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. I just want to take a review on a project that I have made basically, and currently I have talked to you on LinkedIn. If you know, I'm an engineering student and I am basically converting it to design. So yeah, UX design basically. So for that means I'm currently now in my 4th year. So in 4th year we have to make one project for final year. So I have made one project related to Iris Pay. That is basically an Iris Pay payment. Basically, if you just do a payment, it will scan your Iris and the transaction will get received. So basically, for that, we have to design an app. So for that app, I have just made a UX case study based on the app, how it will look like, and what is the procedure you need to follow for that. So I just want to share here so that you can give me some thoughts about the project. How means what are the benefits of this, and is it good, is it bad? Doesn't matter. I will improvise that to my future projects as well. So just yeah.
I am dropping my email address for you all, okay? And I would urge you to send these things over the email. Okay? Because this quorum has a limited time.
Yeah, right.
And I might not be able to go through it, but I would love to go through it. Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't want to disappoint anyone. But honestly, we are on time crunch, and I have shared my email ID, ashutosh.uxdesign@gmail.com. Do send it away right away. Okay? So
Yeah,
that I don't miss it. I think अभी किसी और ने भी बोला था ना थोड़ी देर पहले, इतने सारे लोग हैं मुझे नहीं दिख रहा है, but you can also share it. Cool. Anything else? Anything other than please review my project on the content that I shared or anything? रिया, प्रकाश, नमन, प्रतिमा, सबने हाथ खड़ा किया हुआ है. कोई भी you can.
Yeah. Hi, Ashutosh.
Yes, hi.
Yeah, Ashutosh, I want to know, like, what are the some practical ways to improve my UI design skills? And I have a background in architecture. So as you mentioned, you can put anything like in a creative way in your portfolio. So there are any aspects of my architecture work that I can incorporate into my portfolio?
See, UI design exercise is very important, definitely, because you should not. I mean, see, UI design is being good at UX. Being good at UI is very important because it prevents you from procrastination. ठीक है? तो UI design skill improve करने के लिए you should go to Dribble. See, you need to take inspiration. You have to inspire yourself a lot. And when I say inspire yourself a lot, that means explore different apps. Go to App Store, Play Store, whatever you have. Try out different applications. Try out different types of interaction models that there are. Even if you are in a relationship, do try out Tinder or Bumble. Okay. Just to see how swipe and scroll work. What are the type of interactions that they have? Do the audit of Zomato, which has changed a bit. Zomato में नीचे कुछ तो addition आ गया है. See how they have linked Blinkit on Zomato. So now on Zomato, you have a very chota sa banner on bottom right, which says Blinkit. And if I click on that, it directly takes me to the Blinkit app, right? See how the quick commerce has created their UI. Quick commerce का जो एक UI है, for example, let me show you. I love that. Not sure if many people agree with it or not. So, for example, on Zepto, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. See, here I have a small advertisement running.
Yeah.
This is a new thing which was not there like in a lot of applications, right? It's a new type of template or surface to basically advertise certain things, right? Then let me come to the main point. So I have gone to the categories. Okay. Here in category, if I click on any one, for example, fruits and vegetables. So I have a left nav, even on a mobile app. It was not, this pattern was not existing before like 2 to 3 years ago. ये अभी आया है. And see how they have managed to get everything in a single screen, right? This is a larger screen device. What happens to, for example, iPhone 13 mini, which is a very small screen? See how the responsiveness works. And what you can do is to improve your thinking and UI at the same point. Take this layout of the screen, okay, and try to imagine. So this is for the grocery list, grocery categories. Can you use the same thing in some other domain? Maybe in credit card payment, maybe in banking app, maybe in edtech platform, maybe in Discord, something else, right? Try to imagine that. You play around with it. So you have left nav, you have options where what is the different use case scenario for this particular of UI, right? If you think about that, you will have very fresh ideas with you, right? So, I mean, that is one thing. And another thing is, again, still like an artist, right? You go to the hands, you try to. बचपन में हम ड्राइंग करना कैसे सीखते हैं? हमारे सामने एक एप्पल होता है या फिर एक ट्री होता है या फिर एक ड्राइंग बुक होता है, उसमें से देख के बनाते हैं ना. Similar is the case there. So yeah, try to replicate the existing products that are there. Simple.
And my second question is that I have an architecture background. So there are any aspects of my architecture work that I can incorporate into my UI UX portfolio, or
See, you have that creative freedom. I mean, definitely have some context of your architecture work as well. ठीक है? जैसे I told you, right? I had pottery work that I did in my college. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's always, I mean, I liked it, so I had it, right? You need to have your own personality to your work. And if you come from an architecture background, nothing bad in adding that.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe make a brochure or something, or an app to showcase your architecture work or something like that.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Anyone else?
Oh, can
Hi,
I ask a
Ashutosh.
question?
Yes, Gauravi.
Yeah. So, like I was working as an industrial designer till now, and I've also done a course in UI UX and worked on some client projects in an agency. And the internship you're talking about at Microsoft today itself, I have applied for it. So in my portfolio, I have like product design plus UI UX projects. So I just wanted to know if anyone like if doesn't have a lot of like a 1 year of experience in this domain, does Microsoft or well-known MNCs hire designers? Because most of the opportunities I've seen as a designer, you should have 4 to 5 years of experience with like in higher like MNCs I'm talking about. So
It's an internship opportunity. I don't think they will
yeah,
have
this is an
this
internship
required.
opportunity, but you
Are
are
you from a
working.
design background?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Then I mean there are chances. What is your question? I mean,
I
you're
mean,
asking.
you work as a you like I have saw one of the deal that you said after 6 months of your internship you got Microsoft, right? I guess I have seen that. I
6 months of your internship, but it was
like
not
you
in
have.
Microsoft.
Yeah, it was not in Microsoft. Once you have that 6 months of internship, then you got into Microsoft.
But I got into Microsoft as a full-time employee, not an intern.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because most of the opportunities which I am like looking after, it's like you need 4 to 5 years of experience as a designer, then you will get placed in higher MNCs or something. So that's what my question is. Does MNCs hire like freshers or not?
They do. I was a fresher only. I mean, I just had a work. I just did work in startup after my graduation for like 6-7 months. That's it.
Okay.
Which is
Because
negligible for these companies. They don't consider this as a experience.
all right.
So to your answer, if you're from design background, if you have a design degree, definitely there are chances that they will hire you as a fresher. If you don't have a design degree, it's a bit difficult for these companies to evaluate or trust on your design thinking and thought process. Also gain visibility to your work. And that's why it is advised if you are coming from a different background and you want to get into UX UI in these companies, then you do work for 3-4 years in some company, gain experience, and then apply to these.
Okay. So
That's
I
the
have done my master's in product design, but product design has two categories. One is industrial and one is UI UX. So till now I was working as an industrial designer.
I
But
worked as
have
industrial design for 4 years.
okay. All right.
Matlab, my degree was industrial design. I told you, right? Even my graduation project, 6-month project, that was not even in product design. That was in interior design. I designed a primary
Yeah, even
healthcare
I have
clinic.
interior projects. I did my bachelor's in interiors.
So I mean, doesn't matter. Design, see, design ka fundamental
So
is
I
same.
am just asking about UI UX because most of the opportunities which I was applying for, most of the higher MNCs were looking for 4 to 5 years of experience. No freshers openings were there. That's why.
Yes, that is true because most of the freshers की जो hiring होती है, that is done on campus. IIT Guwahati, IIT Bangalore, IIT
Yes.
Bombay, etc. etc. में. But ऐसा नहीं है. I was hired lateral off campus. So there are chances. Reach out to people. Okay. Reach out to people, make connection. Don't just blindly ask for referrals. Have a rapport with them.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Ashutosh.
Yes.
This is Sagar this side. Yeah, so my question is regarding the after you get a call from the recruiters, right? Sometimes they give you a take-home assignments, right? Especially for bigger companies, like I've been working as a freelancer consultant for international clients for past 4 years. Now I want to enter into corporate world. But since I've been interviewing for major software companies and consultancy companies right now, and so the trend I've seen, they either give you some take-home assignment, and the assignment is rather to design a whole application sometimes. right? Or maybe sometimes there's no take-home assignment, and there are cases like they do 2-3 rounds of interviews, and then after they have a client interview. That is the
Yes,
accompaniment round.
mainly in
So I
the
just want,
service-based companies. Yeah.
same thing. So I just want to know, how do you tackle these aspects? Because I'm actually struggling that part, because I've been interviewed. I've cleared 3-4 rounds of the interviews, but in the final round, I don't know sometimes what happens, and sometimes even I don't want to design the whole application also as a take-home assignment. What's the point? If you want to judge my skills, you have my portfolio. You can give me some 2 or 3 screens also, right? Design. So just want to know your point on that.
See, I have cleared these take-home assignments, but I did not join that company. I think it was Bajaj Capitals. Okay, when I was just out of college. And even today, if I apply to some companies, even today they give assignments to be completed in 48 hours. So they don't trust my skills of being a designer at Microsoft, right? Which is okay. I mean, see, every company has a different philosophy. So you can love it, you can hate it, but if you want to get into that company or if you want to try it, you will have to do it in a certain way, right? So
Right.
that is there. How you do it, if they haven't mentioned that okay, you can create your own assumptions, etc., etc., you can make your own assumptions, okay, and then design. Make a scope for yourself. If not, ask for a scope by reverting immediately. What's the scope? What are you expecting exactly? Or am I mean, free to create my own scope कि मैं पूरी ऐप नहीं बनाऊंगा, मैं बस मेन स्क्रीन एक उसके पीछे की एंड उसके आगे की स्क्रीन बनाऊंगा. That's it. These are the 3
Right.
screens that I make. Okay, you establish that fact between both the parties, right? And for the last interview, I don't know, man. I mean, it depends on the interview, how in which direction it is going. But if it is a
So
white,
it was a client interview for a software-based company right now, and they were
did they
giving
ask
me
you to design something in front of them?
no, nothing. It was just so the past 3 rounds also were from a technical director from the India department. These are design director of the India office, and I cleared that also. But the last round was the fall from someone from their England UK department, okay, UK office, and the project was for some Irish bank. Okay, so the designer took my interview and was just like, take me through your payment application project that you have done. And I said, but I've already done that in the past 3 rounds. So why are you asking me the same question to all of
Man,
us?
you cannot say that in the interview.
No, I didn't say that, definitely, but I explained them everything. But what's the point? Like, maybe
There is a point.
I missed something.
There is a point. If I am the director of any company and my juniors have taken the interviews, that means I trust on my juniors that they think that you're capable. But I will have a different perspective.
No, the director has cleared me also. Then I'm taken to a final round where the lead designer takes the interview again. Okay. So, however, do you have any idea about how do you or maybe give me some tips on how to clear the client aspect in service-based companies?
I cannot comment on that. I mean, it all depends. It all depends on the way your interview is going ahead, and even if there are 10 rounds, and in all the 10 rounds, if they are asking for your portfolio review, you should do that, and you should do that with even more greater depth.
Right.
जितना पहले explain किया था उससे थोड़ा और better तरीके से explain करो. Maybe they are trying to see how well you build up your communication. And this happens. Like for me also, the partner director who took my interview at Microsoft did had a portfolio review once again.
Okay. And so, for example, I interviewed for American Technology Consultancy right now, and they gave me a assignment to design a whole application, some travel AI app. But I said, no, I won't be doing that because it takes around 16, 17 hours for me to design everything from scratch and do the case again, everything, right? So I told him, is it okay if I do this much only? And they said, you can, if you think we can judge your skills from the level you're submitting, then it's okay, you submit. Now it's not a yes, not a no, right?
No,
So
but that's an open-ended question, na?
yeah, so I didn't submit for that because I thought, see, first part.
नहीं, they are like कि अगर if you are capable कि आप एक ही screen से अपना thought process and UI skills बता दोगे, then it's fine for us.
No, not a screen, but like definitely 50% of the project, not the whole application, right? But कुछ तो मैंने दिखाया ना कि इतना है.
But
Like
आगे
maybe 10,
proceed
20
नहीं. So
screens.
basically you did that assignment, but it did
मैंने
not.
submit नहीं किया. Yeah, मैंने submit नहीं किया because first thing then I thought कि इतना time देना भी चाहिए मुझे क्योंकि it was the compensation salary range was less for me, right?
हाँ,
तो
तो
मैंने
फिर
वो
ठीक है
वैसे.
ना. I mean there are multiple factors on the basis of which you can decide. Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah. All the best.
thank you so much.
Folks, I'll quickly share my screen. There is one thing that I wanted to quickly share with you because people have asked me about the AI wala point. I did wanted to take you through this. So this is one portfolio that I mean, some guy who was a developer, I guess, or some business developer role, he shared with me and asked for a feedback. तो ये पीडीएफ के ऊपर मैंने मार्क्स करे हुए हैं कि ये सब नहीं होना चाहिए. ये प्रोजेक्ट का वो है प्रेजेंटेशन, राइट? प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट, why there is no gap between this bracket and s, why this s is small. ठीक है, यहाँ पे ये मतलब ये क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, why is this not aligned properly, right? Why there is no space, again basic English, right? Then ये सेकेंडरी का एस कैपिटल क्यों नहीं है? ऊपर वाला जो 2 लाइंस है ये उसका पैडिंग एंड ये साइड वाले का पैडिंग डिफरेंट क्यों है, राइट? यहाँ का पैडिंग इक्वल है, यहाँ का पैडिंग ज्यादा है, वाई? ये मार्केट रिसर्च रिपोर्ट्स हेडिंग है तो ट्रीट इट एज अ हेडिंग, राइट? मेक इट बोल्ड, एटलीस्ट हैव अ सेपरेट लाइन टू इट. कोई टेक्स्ट हायरार्की होना चाहिए. यहाँ पर कस्टमर सर्वे टूल्स, दिस लुक्स लाइक अ वर्कशीट जो हमारे स्कूल की टीचर्स बस ऐसे बनाकर दे देती थी, राइट? इट डजंट फील लाइक अ डिजाइनर का काम, राइट? ये स्क्रीनशॉट्स, इफ यू सी हियर यू कैन सी अ पॉइंट वाइट कलर का, राइट? ये स्क्रीनशॉट्स ऐसे ही डाल दिए हैं. इसके पीछे कुछ like you should have some shadow, some corner rounded radius or something like that, right? Then ये spelling गलत है, right? यहाँ पर ये pink ऐसे blob क्यों है? Again, the spelling mistake. Why isn't O capital, right? और ये क्या है, मतलब यहाँ पर मुझे ये shadow ऐसी अजीब सी क्यों दिख रही है? इतनी जेनरिक इमेज है यहाँ पे, राइट? यहाँ पर लिस्ट आइटम्स है बट this is too much of text. No one is going to read that, right? Why do we have this much of space left here? अगर यहाँ पर solutions की heading है तो यहाँ पर कुछ और heading होनी चाहिए, right? User flow ऊपर लिखा है but पहला block यहाँ से start हो रहा है. Why? इतने box के ऊपर जाना ही नहीं चाहिए कुछ भी. Should have it very properly framed. और मुझे बताओ starting point क्या है flow का. जैसे हॉस्पिटल के मैप में या शॉपिंग मॉल के मैप में लिखा होता है ना, स्टार लगा के यू आर हेयर. सो शो मी फ्रॉम वेयर इट इज बिगिनिंग, बिकॉज अगर मैं ये देखता हूं तो इसकी तरफ एरो आ रहा है. नथिंग इज स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम हेयर, राइट? तो दीज स्मॉल डिटेल्स, लो 5 वायर फ्रेम ऐसे ही लगा दिया फोटोग्राफ. भाई ढंग से एडिट करो उसको, स्कैन इट प्रॉपरली, राइट? यहाँ पर ये क्या है, लाइक ये मुझे पीछे का बैकग्राउंड क्यों दिख रहा है इमेज के साइड में, राइट? फिर ये स्क्रीन है जो उन्होंने डिजाइन किया था, यहाँ पर ये सेंट्रल लाइन है, यहाँ पर कुछ और पैडिंग है, यहाँ पे कुछ और पैडिंग है, ये लोगो के साइड में ये एक पूरी स्ट्रेट लाइन में, यहाँ पे एकदम लोगो की अलाइनमेंट से एकदम लेफ्ट में हो गया. यू गेटिंग इट? यहाँ पर एल कैपिटल है, यहाँ पर बी स्मॉल है. इधर कॉर्नर रेडियसेस क्यों नहीं है? और अगर नहीं भी रखने तो उसको थोड़ा और अच्छे से बनाओ, राइट? यहाँ पर ये क्या है, UI अगर बनाया है तो you need to have some images. अब ये image ऐसी ही थी, ऐसा लग रहा था अभी यहाँ का टेक्स्ट कुछ लोड नहीं हुआ है, looking very very blank, right? And yes, I mean all these things, right? ये यहाँ पर ऐसे randomly नंबर लिखा हुआ है, यहाँ पे एनरोल नाउ है, ये बटन लग ही नहीं रहा, ये टैग लग रहा है मुझको, right? तो why all these things? So folks, this is one of the project which basically beginners make, and you need to pay attention to these pitfalls that are there. You can take a screenshot of this. This is the roadmap to learn UX design if you want. I can even share this with all of you if you want, the screenshot, right? And yeah, coming to the final topic, UX design in the era of AI. My take on this is I totally agree with this line. AI won't replace you, but a person using AI will replace you. Definitely, you need to use AI to your help, right? So, in order to understand how to use AI as a designer, you should always see कि design काम कैसे करता है. If you divide the design process or the nature of design, how does it work? You first have problem identification, you have user research, you have ideation, and then you have user testing. As simple as that, right? Now, AI, so ये phases में divided है पूरा design process, ठीक है? AI can help you automate or help. अब problem identification है, उसमें AI can help you. User research में AI can help you in automating the responses, ठीक है? Ideation या testing में it can help you or it can help you automate. How? ChatGPT, for example, can help me in problem identification or refining my problem statement. There is an AI tool called as Gummy Search. It can help me in understanding users, what they are talking about a particular area. For example, if I'm making an app for football, FIFA, right? So what are the football fans talking about on Reddit? That is gummysearch.ai is a tool that summarizes the talk on that. It also summarizes that, okay, what are the pain points people are talking about, what are the positives that people are talking about, etc. etc. So I'm leveraging AI. मैं खुद जाकर Reddit scroll करके 2 दिन नहीं लगा रहा हूँ insights लेने के लिए. I'm using AI to get insights, right? I'm using AI to help me ideate or maybe help me with user testing, right? So in my opinion, designers are creators, but that role might change from being just a creator to a curator. You are curating the chunk of information for every phase from different AI tools, and you are basically curating everything and making sense out of it. अब ये करने के लिए भी बहुत एफर्ट चाहिए, इसलिए ऐसा नहीं होगा कि UI UX designer role is totally gone, because some dedicated person with design thinking will be required to curate all these things, right? So yeah, that's it. Top of your minds, and thank you so much for attending.
Yeah, thank
Hope
you.
that
Yeah, sure.
yeah. I think we are on time, Ajit.
Yeah, on time. So yeah, thank
finally.
you so much, Ashutosh, for having this session. I would greatly appreciate. We are very honored to have you, and didn't seen this much of insights, in previous of my sessions or event. So this was a very great event, and I totally agree that people also learn from this session well, and this is the first time I would say we have this much of audience connected in an online event.
I think 100 plus we had.
Yeah, we had 100 plus in between, right? So
Yeah.
thanks.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you for all the folks for joining us today, and I appreciate your energy as well and your dedication as well for this event. You guys have just joined. So let's do one thing. Few things to share before we just left. So I've just shared a WhatsApp group link in the chat box. So you guys can just join that WhatsApp group, and we can just have a just share our portfolios link in there, and we can just have inspiration from each other, and we can just comment on each other's portfolio if we get any, and we can just give feedback to each other. So it's very open WhatsApp group. We can just give feedback. We can just comment on each other's portfolio just to improve on every portfolio, right? So you are very open to do that. Please join that WhatsApp group channel. I just pinned that message in the chat. Also, one thing, after we just ended this session, so I will share you the feedback form. You just have to fill so that we can know like how interesting this session was, like what are the things that can be improved from our side, what are the things that can be improved in the future. So that's the one thing you just guide. If you do, that would be very great for us. So yeah, that can be shared maybe today itself or sorry.
Ajit, I need to drop off. I have a meeting at 8:35.
Yeah, Ashutosh.
Okay, it has
Yeah, sure,
started.
sure.
Cool.
Thanks a
Bye,
lot.
folks.
Bye,
Thank you so much.
Ashutosh. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys for joining.